So do you have those guilty pleasures? Those things that you do for fun, even though you're not really sure if it's worth the time and energy you're going to put into it? Well, even in gardening, I find myself doing the same thing. Plants and flowers that I find really interesting, but know that it's hard to germinate these, or know that it's probably a good chance that many of our customers will not be interested in the produce, but I'm still so curious about it, I have to plant it. Well, I have a whole tray of that. Let me show you. First, guilty pleasure. And it's not really a guilty pleasure because we had a customer request this, one customer, and I planted 24 plants. So, gotta get a grip on that, don't I? So it's going to be our West Indies habanero and red Savina pepper. These are Caribbean peppers that are usually used along with your Scotch bonnets in some areas for curries and jerks and things like that. And so we had a customer ask us about growing them, and we decided why not, and we started researching the variety and saw, hey, that looks like it could be something that we would enjoy. So we planted 12 of each, and we have out of the West Indies, looks like we have 9 that are up. The red Savina, however, no, it looks like about 9 on it as well. What I have found about habaneros in general, like our orange ones that we grew this past year, is that sometimes those seeds will sit for an awfully long time, and then all of a sudden in a pod or a cell that you think is dead or just done for, all of a sudden something will appear. And so I've learned to just keep an eye on them. These were planted on the 11th. Today is the 25th, so that's 2 weeks. In less than 2 weeks, most of these were up. We did have these on a heating mat, and we had humidity dome on top until some of our other items over here got a little too tall, and we removed that. I may remove those, are our San Marzanos. I've never planted them before or used them, but I've heard good things, and so I wanted to give that a shot. We have so many tomatoes already started between the plant sale and ones that we're going to be doing for us that it's a little ridiculous for me to be even doing any more tomatoes, thus the guilty pleasure. Okay, so we've talked about the San Marzanos, we've talked about the habaneros, both types, and both of those are red habanero in color. Okay, so the other is this wild bergamot bee balm, and I am so shocked that we did this well with germination on these. Usually seeds that require light to germinate, they're very, very fine and small, which is why they would have a hard time pushing through the soil. But I usually don't have much success with them. Also perennial seeds I usually don't do very well with, but every pod has something in it. So out of 12, I put a bunch of seeds in each one of those pods, so I don't know how that's going to work later as they get bigger as far as separating them out, but we'll see. The next guilty pleasure is our banana peppers. Now, why is a banana pepper a guilty pleasure? It is a guilty pleasure because of what I plan to do with them if I am able to get them to grow to maturity, and that is pickle them. Publix will put them on sale from time to time, pickled banana peppers in a jar, and I love them, and they're so good. And I thought how much better it may be if I was able to grow my own. So I say but it's definitely a family effort, because from the time these things are started until the time you actually will start reaping a harvest with peppers, it can be a little time investment. So I'm sure the family will help because they also love them on pizzas. Me and my daughter will just eat them straight from the jar. Just nothing but a fork and happiness. Okay, and guilty pleasure here. They're both peppers, as you can see. All these are lilac bell pepper. You can tell by the name that it's purple. And one thing you know about me, I love purple. Many different shades. The deeper shades, the lighter shades, all of it. And so this bell pepper looked really, really pretty. It's another Baker Creek find. And so I wanted to see if I could get it to grow as well. I don't know if these will retain their purple color upon cooking or pickling, but I would really like to see it used in some of our sauces and things, to see how it would add to the vibrance of the color. But we'll see. And even if it doesn't, you have those extra antioxidants. I think it's anthocyanins. I probably butchered that. And yeah, so that's it. This is my guilty pleasure tray. Now I have a whole other one that is exclusively flowers. I have no idea where they're all going. I was just talking to my daughter about where we're gonna plant our morning glory. We have like 5 different varieties. And we planted one variety, or she did, a couple of years ago. And it came back for the longest, and then I think the cats got to that flower bed, some of the stray cats in the neighborhood, and maybe even some of our own. We stopped even trying to plant back there. So we're gonna try to use our morning glory as a part of a live hedge on some fencing around the property. So we'll see. Who knows how that experiment will go, or if we'll even get around to it this year. But whatever your guilty pleasure is, as far as gardening goes, do it. Have fun with it. The more food you grow, I think, the more right you have to grow something to just have fun with it. So have fun. This is Sheena. Have a good one.